because my computer will die mid
On today's episode of the 1-0 Sports Show, we'll go over Texas football's surprising performance this Saturday, updates in the MLB postseason, and more hot topics from the sports world. We'll play some trivia, pick some games, and so much more. And I'm your host, Georgie Ruiz.
And I'm your other co-host, Raymond Gorvey.
And welcome to our sibling show. If you didn't know, we're actually biological siblings. And we'll get right into it.
I can't stand her.
We're going to have an exciting show. We're going to talk about the NFL divisional round and what we expect from it. We talk about Texas's inconsistent starting Big 12 play for men's basketball. We'll finish with some talk about our women's basketball team. So we got a packed show today.
I got to go the other way. You know, Texas A&M, they got a lot of identity issues. Are they an agricultural school? Are they military? Are they blue collar? Are they academics? They're all over the place. So
now, I'm always a sucker for a one-handed catch. I have tiny hands. I need 3 of them just to catch a football. So this one-handed grab in the end zone, that's just super impressive in my eyes. That's going to be my play of the week.
Mayo pour on college game day. Look at this. Just the guy and the North Carolina, South Carolina game. He's just straight eating it, shirt off, rubbing it on his body.
Hey, listen, the Cinderella story ends here, Texans. I'm sorry, man. The chariots turned back into the pumpkin. It struck midnight. Whatever you want to say, I think it ends here.
Welcome back to 1-0, and before we get started of today's show, I want to do a huge shout out to our sponsor, Cap Metro, Austin's transit system, where we connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. Plan your ride this weekend to this weekend's game at capmetro.org. All right, so let's get into it. So let's get into our picks of who's hot and who's not. Georgie, who do you think is hot right now?
You know, I'm keeping up with the OU hate. Texas Longhorns are really hot. After a statement win over number 6 Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, Ryan Niblett's 75-yard punt return sealed the 23-6 victory for Texas. And Texas defense dominated, holding the Sooners to only 258 yards. Arch Manning looked a lot more composed, completing 21 out of 27 passes, and more connection with DeAndre Moore on that. And the postseason, Steve Sarkisian has also said that Arch is drilling deeper and is getting building more and more up to be that great leader that he believes he is. So I think for me, who's hot, the Texas Longhorns, let's hope they can keep that fire going. What about you, Ray?
For me, as much as it pains me to say, because I hate the Dodgers and he used to be a San Francisco Giant, I would have to say Blake Snell. Blake Snell has a 3-0 record in this postseason so far with an ERA of .86 and 28 strikeouts, including a 10 strikeout game in the first game of the NLCS against the Milwaukee Brewers. And in comparison, he's on track to have a better postseason run than Madison Bumgarner's 2014 postseason run, which is considered by many as the greatest postseason run that a pitcher has ever had. In comparison, Madison Bumgarner had a 4-1 record with a 1.06 ERA and 41 strikeouts across 7 appearances in the postseason. So for me, Blake Snell, as much as it pains me to say, Blake Snell is he's hot right now. He really is.
Well, just switching over also to a who's not keeping up with the OU, it's John Mateer. I'm sorry. He came back after 17 days. I could be wrong. 17 days after a hand surgery. And he was talking, all the OU fans and everything was saying, oh, he's going to be back, he's going to be back. But he only completed 20 out of 38 passes and just couldn't get that offense in rhythm. Like I said, he said his hand was fine, but it clearly wasn't. And Malik Muhammad picked him off twice, including a huge run in the end zone before halftime. And after back-to-back rivalry losses to Texas, this was supposed to be a statement game for John Mateer and his game to come back. And even he said in the press conference, the post-game press conference, he said, my hand felt fine, I felt fine. They didn't play hot. So John Mateer, sorry, you're not that hot.
And for me, I'll have to say the whole program of Penn State. Penn State football is in the gutter right now. I had to watch my words. They're in the gutter right now. They're coming off 2 back-to-back losses against UCLA and Northwestern, 2 teams that have really been struggling in Big Ten play, especially last year and starting off this season. Well, now UCLA has turned their season around with that win with Penn State. But coming in as a top 5 team to now being 3-3 and unranked and already fired your head coach, willing to pay him $50 million million for him to pack up his things and leave. I think Penn State right now as a football program, it's going downhill. They're graduating a lot of seniors this year, and they're already having a bad year, and they're going to go into a rebuild year with a new coach. Penn State is not looking so hot right now.
You know, that is true, and there's been a lot of stuff with Franklin that we're actually going to get into right now. So, like Raymond was saying, the biggest story in college football this past week was the firing of James Franklin from Penn State. Penn State paid $49 million to buy out Franklin's contract, which begs the question, do you think, I think I already know your answer, but do you think this was a right decision or a very expensive misstep for Penn State?
I think it was the right decision. The only thing you could question is that if firing him now, when you know he was already going to be fired, you're going to fire him at the end of the year. But right now, I think, it's the right decision. James Franklin, at a program like Penn State, you have to be able to win the big games against the Ohio States, against the Michigans, and now against the Oregons and the USCs of the world now in the Big Ten. But that record against top 10 opponents, he's like 1-16. And he's only beaten Ohio State once and only beaten Michigan once. So that in his entire tenure, I'm going on year 10. So in a program like Penn State with a national pedigree, who are investing money now in this NIL era, putting $700 million into their stadium, they can expect success. So I think at this point you got to raise the bar, and then James Franklin obviously reached the cap to where you can take that program.
And honestly, I have to agree with Raymond. I think it was the biggest step because especially in this world of college football right now, you need coaches who are on their A game at all times. You can't spend, it's not money not spent well. These programs need these type of changes to actually grow, and like you said, the 1-16, there's a limit to that. But in a similar vein, the NFL coaching carousel is already off to a hot start with the firing of Brian Callahan as a head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Who do you think will be the next NFL coach to get the boot?
I'm calling it right now. The Dolphins will lose this weekend, and Mike McDaniel will be fired by that Monday. It's a dumpster fire down there. Tyreek Hill's already out for the year, and maybe his career's over. Tua's now not looking like the franchise quarterback that they paid him $200+ million to be. And obviously with that post game, I don't know if y'all saw the post game with Tua calling out the leadership issues. That starts from the top with the head coach. You have players coming to meetings late, players showing up to players-only meetings late, and showing up to practice late. Veterans not practicing as much. So it seems like Mike McDaniel obviously lost the entire locker room, especially after trading Jalen Ramsey. We all know that relationship wasn't too frowned upon between those two. So I think Mike McDaniels, when you lose the locker room, it's only a matter of time, and he obviously has lost the locker room. What about you?
Honestly, I have to do some research into this, but Kevin Stefanski with the Cleveland Browns, just because that record is not showing, I do like, I go by records, I go by stats, but he is 4-19 record over the last 2 seasons. He can't even win in Pittsburgh, which is kind of crazy too. And just the fans have been also vocal with the frustration. And like Raymond had said, it's not the locker room, but when you start getting fans and everything kind of going against you, the league is team owners are going to listen to the fans, are going to listen, because at the end of the day, it's going to grow everybody as a whole. But I really liked your point on that, just losing the locker room.
Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year. That'll be crazy. That'll be crazy if they fire him. Because,
at the end of the day, these records and everything, they need to be putting up. But switching over to the MLB, Raymond has very strong feelings about this. The MLB postseason continues to drop teams like flies, with the Yankees, Phillies, Cubs, and Tigers being eliminated after the League Division Series. Of these 4 teams, Ray, who do you think is the most danger in having their championship window closed, and what does the team need to do to extend it?
Obviously, the obvious answer, again, it pains me to say this because they're going against a team that I cannot stand. It's the Milwaukee Brewers. They're down 0-3. Being the number 1 overall seed in the NL going into the postseason, a lot of people thought that they were going to be able to break through this year. But again, you can't beat the payroll of the Dodgers. They have too many stars, and eventually those stars are their talent is going to show and showcase, and that's what it's been doing in the series, especially the pitching for the Dodgers is really picking up with Yamamoto and Blake Snell really turning it on here in the postseason after struggling for a bit throughout the season early. But, the Brewers, I think it's pretty much wrapped up. They're down 3-0 unless a miracle happens. I think it's over for the Brewers. Their championship window right now is pretty much shut.
Oh, he's already saying close. I think the Yankees are in danger of their window closing. Their last series, the last World Series win came in 2009, and it's really starting to define the era. They just can't get over that league division hump, and they need some major changes. They need to trade for a top tier hitter who can actually produce runs and scoring in October. They need to improve starting pitching to stay consistent, because that I have seen has been one of their biggest things, is that they start very late when it comes to pitching, and it sets the tone in the beginning, and they just need some homegrown talent, just real players. Like, it's okay to have a young team and just building it back up. However, they need to kind of get a little more fire under them before they really kind of just get lost in the background.
They're also still trying to replace Mario Rivera. It's been like, what, 15 years since
I've read about
he
that
retired,
as well.
and they still need a closer. They tried to trade for Canelo Duvall. I told y'all that he was going to suck, and he did. So, thanks for the prospects. Thank you.
You can't blame a guy who knows ball. And that wraps up for this segment. And coming up, we'll have our Versus segment with a very special guest. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Wanna Know Sports Show. We're on our Versus segment, and we have our very special guest and picker, Louis Perez. Louis, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. It's pretty early, but I'm here. I'm ready to see what y'all brought today. I'm excited. This is one of my favorite segments. So.
Oh, perfect. Well, we'll get right into it. So first, we have our best NFL Week 6 play. I'll let Raymond start off.
Of course, I'm going to start off with one of my favorite players. I understand that he's a Sooner, but I was not a Texas fan before I came here, so I always loved Baker Mayfield. On his third down play, shakes off two D linemen and runs for 15 yards to get a first down. I mean, that's what you rarely see that from a quarterback, from the quarterback position, especially a quarterback like Baker Mayfield, he can run, but like he doesn't prefer to run, if that makes sense. So give me good old shake and bake right there with the third down conversion, and they went on to win that game in a huge matchup against the 49ers, so that was a big play.
Okay, well, I have the Lions touchdown in the beginning of the fourth quarter this past week. What I really liked about this was, one, just the awareness and the pocket for the quarterback, but also this really close touchdown right here. He manages to get both feet right on there, and the fans are in the background saying, no, incomplete. But after you see these multiple angles, I feel like this play was really good, because I love players who are very aware of their surroundings and can make sure they execute where they need to be executed. So that's my best play of the week. So what do you think, Lou?
Yeah, to start, I like what you said, play awareness. That's just really good awareness on the field, knowing where you are and what you have to do to get the touchdown. And I really liked your play, too. I think that's pretty impressive for him to dodge that many people going around. This one, though, I'm going to have to give to Raymond, just because I think that was a better clip. I think more happened.
A lot.
Yeah, and there was a lot more movement instead of just a simple touchdown, but that was pretty cool, though.
Okay. And then, so we're going into our best MLB play. I know Raymond has one of my favorite players on there, so I'm going to let you start again, Ray.
So, yes, I got Mookie Betts with the one-hop throw-out. Obviously, he's up for the Golden Glove at the shortstop in NL this year. Because this was like a 1-1 game at the time. Look at that. Nice pickup. One jumps, throws, one hop. Easy to Freddie Freeman. Throw the runner out. Big play in the game. I believe it was in the 6th inning in a 1-1 game. So, give me Mookie Betts looking like his Golden Glove self with that impressive throw out.
Well, another thing about shutting out an inning, I have Addison Badger of the Blue Jays, his diving catch in the outfield. What I really like about it is, I don't know if it's gonna show, but what I really like about it is that it really did end the inning, and it really, I know like the score was 6-2, but there was people on base, it shut it out, it ruined the momentum, and I love a good dive catch, and in the back. Not that he didn't have to do that, but he could have let it bounce. He could have gotten it and just been able to, have a couple people on base. But he went for that extra. He went for that extra step and made sure there's no bases. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. I'm so sorry. But there's no runners on base. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So I just really like those because it's one of those movements where you don't have to do it, but when you do it and execute it well and just like that, it can really make a statement. But what do you think, Louis?
Yeah, I think everybody loves a good Derek Jeter play every now and then. I think that was pretty impressive that he still got the out. But this one I'm going to have to give to Georgie just because a former outfielder myself, I have my time or two share of those kinds of plays. Those are always my favorite kinds of plays to make. So this one I'm going to give to Georgie.
Oh, thank you. Okay. And moving on, we have our best college football play of week 7. I'll start off on this one. I like a little bit of a underdog. So I have actually SMU with this play with Johnson Jr. So you see right here, the quarterback almost gets tackled, but then he throws it off behind the line of scrimmage too, so it's still legal. And then he's actually able to go around these players and score. And the thing about SMU is that they really do have some really good offensive runs, but things like that when they're constantly under pressure now that I've realized is that their quarterback does have a lot of pocket awareness, but I just love how he was like going down, but he still made that play, and the receiver connected it and was able to dodge 3 defenders and make that touchdown. But Raymond, what you got?
For me, give me the dean of Cougar football. Give me Dean Connors with the one-handed touchdown against Oklahoma State. I mean, from a running back with the number 44, they call him the dean. He's the dean of football down there. Dean Connors with the one-handed catch right there to give him a lead in a tie ball game at that point. Houston will go on to win, but that's very impressive. One-handed catch, fully one-handed, diving backwards, landing on your back, and still maintaining possession. Give me the Dean Connors with the one-handed catch.
He really did reach for that, too. That was an impressive
that was pretty
catch. Cool. But what do you think, Louis?
Yeah, that one-handed catch is pretty cool. It's something that's kind of rare right now because I think a lot of teams are running a lot of run game as of late. So one-handed catch is pretty cool. And I like what you were saying about SMU. Their offense has been looking pretty good, and their run game is really getting into it. I've been noticing that a lot of big trend this year in college football is that teams are putting more pressure on the quarterbacks. So I feel like that's a good detail of the game that teams are trying to focus on is trying to get their quarterback in better positions. But this one I'm going to have to give to Raymond just because that one-handed catch is pretty cool.
It was pretty impressive. I can't argue with that. And here, now off to my favorite one. It's the worst umpire or ref mistake or the biggest blooper. Mine, and I think this is a big statement, a ref has been suspended for life on the NHL for allowing this goal. The thing is that he kind of did a goal in the beginning. You see how it goes through a pocket in the net, a gap in the net, so it's not really a real goal. But the thing that people got him for was because even after the review, and it was a lengthy review, so even after the review, he still called it a goal. And, everybody was mad, and it went up to the higher-ups, and now he's suspended for life. So I think that's just even a big blooper for him as well. But what do you got, Ray?
I got the refs fumbling on national television Saturday night when Kirby Smart was obviously in 4K calling for a timeout, but the refs allowed Kirby to gaslight them into believing that he was clapping. Like, look at him. It's like, for Kirby Smart, it's embarrassing because you were calling a timeout. And then for the ref, why didn't you just step up? I understand that's Kirby Smart, 2-time national champion, and he's gonna be upset. He's a great character, but man up. Oh, man.
God.
You saw him call the timeout, then call the timeout. That ended up costing Auburn an opportunity to get the ball back because that was 3rd down. And not only that, they gave Georgia time on the clock. They gave Georgia their timeout back, and they didn't call the delay of game. And then Georgia went ahead and converted on 3rd down. That pretty much wrapped the game up. So that game theoretically kind of cost Auburn an opportunity for a chance to win the game and kind of keep their season alive. And now their season, without a result, is completely done.
I forgot that I would have picked that, but I forgot. I felt like it happened so long ago, but it was literally last week. But What do you think, Lou? This was actually this one's kind of tough.
This is a really hard one. So going off of the football, Kirby Smart, impressive coach, but there's just no way that he should have been allowed to do that. Like, you're clearly calling for a timeout, and do y'all know how on Instagram, memes, they'll call people out and they'll put the clips side by side. I saw one and it was him calling for a timeout and then him clapping. So I was like, dude, you just look like I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a rant. I have no
words. And then the hockey clip, that's just insane. Like, how do you allow a goal? How do you allow a goal that wasn't a goal? And then suspended for life.
Suspended for life.
Like, you have no job. You're unemployed. So
what would you
this is a tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with the hockey one just because.
Yay!
I'm gonna have to go with this guy. He has no job. He has nothing.
Not a year, not 2 years, no life. That's crazy. So right now we're actually tied up, and the winner gets the little trophy. So the last one, which is really cool, the best miscellaneous sports play of the past week. Raymond, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
I'm going to do down here. It happened yesterday here at the University of Texas. I got a chance to cover this game. Ava McDonald, a true freshman, scored almost a 40-yard outside the box shot and got it and scored. And in the last 5 minutes of the half, it was this was her second goal of the night, a brace. I mean, this goal from a true freshman, look at it. Left the goalkeeper standing frozen deep from about 40, 50 yards. Give me Ava McDonald, true freshman. She went on to have a brace in that game, so.
Okay. Well, my sports play, I love getting some randoms in here, is when NHL Nazar scores. He scores and he accidentally runs into the goalpost and then he just gets jumped. But then you see him get pulled up. You see right there, the guy right there skating away. Yeah, that's the guy who's ran into the goalpost. So everybody's still fighting and he's still celebrating, which I think is, I really like a good hockey fight. I just think it's really funny because he scored and he just accidentally ran into it, but as soon as he went under, he just got jumped. So that was mine. I just really love a good hockey fight. I think that's why a lot of people like hockey. But Louis, who gets this one? Because that one.
Yeah, I thought the hockey clip again was fun. That was pretty funny. The guys, he's over there. He's ready to keep going, keep playing. Everybody else is just fighting. The refs are in it. That's just bad. And then Ava McDonald, like you said, she's having an absolute breakout season. Texas soccer, man, I'm pulling for y'all still. I'm still in it with y'all.
They still have a chance to make the SEC tournament.
Yes.
They just got off to a rocky start, but they can.
I'm still pulling for Texas soccer.
Okay.
But this one, I'm for sure gonna have to give to Raymond, just because Texas soccer, Ava McDonald, she's doing absolutely amazing this season. I'm gonna have to give it.
That one game, but Raymond, I guess it would be a little quick. That was actually good. That was a good one. There you go,
Raymond. Champion.
No, I can't blame you. Yeah, Ava McDonald, she has been. That one game she had where she scored 2 in the second half. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Well, but thank you so much, Louis, for coming on. Had a really great time chatting with you, and we'll see you back on for trivia on the One and O Sports Show and getting a deep dive into Texas athletics. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to the 1-0 Sports Show. Now we're diving into Texas athletics. So on Saturday, the Texas Longhorns pulled off a shocker, defeating the number 6 in their bitter rivals Oklahoma Sooners in a Red River rivalry in dominant fashion. What changed from disaster from Florida, and can this translate and salvage the season for the Horns, Georgie?
Well, honestly, this game was something very important for the Horns. Me and you were saying it all week leading up to it. If they don't win this, we could really just kiss all of, or they could really just kiss all the postseason goodbye. But I genuinely enjoyed it. It just seemed the defense was on point compared to Florida. They just had a really messy game on Florida. That's what I believe. The defense was on it. Malik Muhammad was having a time. And Arch Manning just looked better, and he was more connecting with his receivers. And I feel if they can really keep this momentum up, which is a little bit of a for Texas, because sometimes they'll go on the high-low roller coaster of being a Texas fan. But I really feel like that really was a statement. When they can keep the momentum, they could be really good, especially going against Georgia and A&M. But what do you think, Ray?
Something that I changed and noticed. I mean, obviously the defense performed as I expected them to perform, but from the offensive side, did you know going into this game, Arch Manning from snap to throw, he was bottom 5 in the nation, meaning he held the ball longer. Oh, wow. This week, his average time from snap to throw was 2.5. So that they immediately jump up. So that was a big improvement.
Wow,
so something that that Texas found this past Saturday that will hopefully they can build upon this entire season is getting the ball out of Arch's hands pretty quickly, putting him on the move. We saw him running out in the pocket, delivering passes across the field, committing some quarterback sins. But if you have the talent, you can get away with that, throwing it across the middle, rolling out to the right, and throwing it to the left, rolling to the left, throwing across the body to the right. So give me. That's the one thing that I saw was the start of the game plan of getting the ball from snap to throw out of Arch's hands really quickly. So that's something that really pointed out and stuck out to me.
And I feel like when it comes to those bigger matchups, that's really going to come in handy. Mm-hmm. And, switching over to my favorite, Texas men's basketball is opened the season unranked in the AP poll, the official preseason top 25. And they have a new head coach, Sean Miller, and with some key returners like Tremont Mark, Jordan Pope, Kendall Weaver, and some new players like Declan DeRue and Simeon Weiser. So what are your expectations for the Horns this season?
I have modest expectations, but I have expectations for us to drastically improve because we have a more experienced and a coach that's been there and done that and won championships, conference titles in a Power 4 conference, used to be Power 5 when he coached back then. So my expectations is a top 5 finish in the SEC. Nothing crazy. I'm not going out here and say we're going to win the SEC because you still have the reigning champions in Florida. Arkansas really invested in NIL, so with Kentucky. So I feel like this year a top 5 finish in the SEC and a decent run in the tournament, maybe round 32, Sweet 16, somewhere around that is a realistic expectation for this Longhorn team, mostly because they have the experience coaching Sean Miller. Where you look at his career at Xavier, especially at Arizona in the Pac-12, old Pac-12 conference, that gives me a lot of confidence. So that's my expectations. What about you?
Honestly, I have really high expectations. I've been doing some media press conferences with them, and the best thing that I've heard just through everybody is Sean Miller's mentality. He does not believe in moral victories. He wants the win. He's not like, oh, we lost, but y'all did good. No, he wants the win, and that's something that the players respect. That's exactly why Kendall Weaver, Tremont Mark, Jordan Pope, Nick Cody actually stayed. They said it took them one conversation, and even at that, it took little to no convincing. They were wanting to stay, and that's what I feel like. My expectations for them is, I kind of think like you said, like I see a top 32, top 16, but I feel like even in the upcoming years, like come 3, 4, 5 years, like just a little more of a set, I feel like they could really be a powerhouse basketball team and finally get Texas men's basketball on the map because it's really competitive. Well, we'll see when it comes to March Madness, but the biggest thing I do see is Sean Miller's mentality, and he he has a quote that he's saying now called "all in," and it really does feel like that. And just seeing the way the players are hearing him and getting his feedback and actually translating it compared to Rodney Terry, where it kind of going one ear out the other. Now the players are retaining it, wanting to learn more because he actually stops and takes the time. So I have really high expectations, and I'm really excited to get into that. So definitely stay tuned. And the Lone Star Showdown has officially begun with Texas A&M beating Texas at soccer on 1-0 on the second, with 6 points remaining over the 7 games, including the football game on Black Friday. What team will take the trophy this year, do you think?
The overall trophy or the football game?
I think the overall trophy.
Overall trophy, I would have to say Texas, because if you look at sports like in baseball, especially women's basketball, because that goes against the tally and on that, and volleyball. Which does volleyball play A&M this year? Yeah. So in sports like that, I don't think A&M can compete with us, and especially in sports like volleyball, softball. Their softball team is decent, but we're the reigning national champs. Women's basketball, and I believe, yes. So those spring, especially the spring sports, I feel like we dominate those sports. Football is I think that's A&M's only realistic chance of picking up a point in these remaining 7 games. Oh, you can say women's softball; they have a pretty good team.
They got a pretty solid team.
So, but I say realistically, I can only see an A&M picking up points in maybe the football game. And the softball is really 50-50 because both our programs are really good. So I think our spring sports will really pull it for us here for Texas. So give me Texas winning the overall Lone Stars Trophy Showdown again in back-to-back years.
Actually, I don't know if you know this, if y'all are tuning in, Texas is going against A&M tonight, actually, at the Texas softball field. Definitely tune in. We're going to go to that game, and it's going to be a really good way to see how the teams are responding. But kind of like you said, I mean, I think Texas is going to take it home all the way, but it's really the softball and the football teams because football is just doing really good this year. They're having really great performances. But let's be honest, even when it comes to them going against men's basketball, and now since men's basketball is a little more
even in their
solid,
greatest season ever for A&M basketball, they still couldn't beat the Longhorns. So, so even then, that's little brother's always going to little brother.
It's a little brother thing, you can't be even. But that wraps up our segment with Texas athletics, and when we come back, we're gonna play some trivia, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure to stay tuned and follow along. Welcome back, and we got a few more friends here. So joining us again is Louie, and joining us for the first time right now is Emma Wallace. Emma, how are you feeling today?
Good, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, excited for some trivia?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is what's going to happen. So we're going to be working together because Tyler is very niche and will pull out stuff from the depths of Wikipedia. So we're going to be working together to try to solve these questions and see how many points we can get. Okay, so take it away, Tyler. Give us the first one. Which NBA team has the record for most wins to begin the season? Oh, come on, Ray.
Golden State.
Are we locking in with Golden State?
Golden State, yes.
Okay,
No
okay.
doubt.
Going with Ray.
Curry.
I
Yeah!
believe it was 2016. They won 23 in a row. They started out 23-0, something like that.
What the
and then they lost to Milwaukee the Milwaukee Bucks on a random it was like on NBA TV. They lost to Milwaukee. And
That's how bad
That's how they're streaking. Yeah.
I'm
That's,
expecting Oklahoma City to be up there. They
Deep pool.
went 18-0.
Deep
to start
pool.
last
that
year.
is a deep pool.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a ball knower over here. All right, Ty, give us a second one. Which player is one of the three players that hold the record for most home run in a single World Series?
It's not Bonds.
It's not Babe Ruth, right? I feel like that's such like a cop out.
I want to say Freeman did it last year. Is it Freddie? Y'all want to go with Freddie?
Freddie Freeman.
It's either Freddie or George.
I don't watch
As a Giants fan, I know Barry Bonds. He shrinks and he won the World Series with us. He only had like one home run. I believe Freddie had like 3 last year. Babe Ruth, that was like 40 years ago. I do not know. George Springer. I think that was with Houston. I think.
And he's studied his
Is he still with Houston?
No, he's with. I want to say. Is he with the? I think he's with Blue Jays now. I want to go. I think Freddie. I want to say Freddie did it last year.
I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna try. So we're gonna go with
It was
Freddie.
either he did it with the Braves or the Dodgers, but I feel like we're gonna lock in with Freddie.
Dang it! It's the only person that we didn't talk about. I don't know who. I don't know.
So he must
I
have
know
did it-
Jerry
I think
Springer.
that was him. So that must have been 2017 with the Astros, maybe. I don't know. That was I think.
Okay. Well, give us the next one. Which MLB? Dang it, MLB guys, come on. Which MLB player has the most recent Series Christian walk-off home run? Oh.
Okay, so Altuve is the walk-off against Chapman. Chalmers Ishikawa, I think that was with the Giants or against the Giants. Chris Taylor, Oscar Gonzalez.
Can I ask?
So the series clinching one, I want to say Altuve, he walked off Chapman in like Game 6 a couple years ago to send the Astros to the World Series. We're rocking. You want to go Altuve? Okay, I'm leading the charge.
Okay, go.
When was
We're 1-2 right now. We gotta lock in. We really gotta lock in. We're 1-2.
Okay.
Okay, which MLB division has the most World Series titles in the past 10 years?
So the NL West, that is Dodgers, they have 2020, 2021, the last 10 years, so we're going back to 2015, so that means the Giants doesn't count because they did 11, 13, and 15. No, 11, 13.
Crickets from
14.
everybody else.
That's what it was, 10, 13, 10, 12, 2014. So
Can I use ChatGPT?
the Giants wouldn't count. So it's not the NL West, that's 2. AL West, that is...
How great you real quick.
AL West, wait. Which division is the Rangers and Astros in? That division. That one. We're going to go with that one. Yes!
That was a good.
It would have been a tie, but since it's 2025, the Giants the 2014 doesn't count. So
Dang, Raymond's
the Dodgers have 2.
right now.
Yeah. So
Oh, back. Okay, which Texas QB holds the record for most passing yards of all time?
it's not Young.
It's not Ellinger.
It's not Elling.
Is it? Ooh.
Ellinger started for 3 years. It might be Major Applewhite.
Major Applewhite.
We went number 3 a lot, so let's not.
Yeah.
I just realized that. And why should be niche and be like Chris Sims? I want to say is it? But it might be. Sam was our starting quarterback for a while.
He did do a lot. You know, you want to ring in
Ellinger. I want to say Ellinger. I want to say Ellinger.
Just for the MVP. Put it up, Ty.
Dang it!
Dang it! Okay, see.
I should have won my first.
You got us on that.
Yeah.
Stop making it all 3, Tyler.
Yeah, that's.
Also, how many questions do we have?
I think
I think it's 5, right?
Is that it?
Is that it? If that's it, zoom in and out. Well, Tyler beat us.
Yeah.
If we, it's okay. But next, I need some other things other than MLB. I'm not an MLB fanatic. I will be real. But thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Louis, for coming on the One and O Sports Show. We're gonna have Emma back here on our next segment when we do our little pick'ems. So stay tuned and yeah, a little round of applause for us, guys. We tried. We'll see you in a bit. Cute. So I don't know if he was muted.
Like American history.
Fuck it. Hi, welcome back to the One No Sports Show, and we're on our last segment, which is the Pick'em segment. And we have Emma here. We're back and on it. My name's Raymond, I guess. But no, okay. So first we have number 10 LSU, number 17 Vanderbilt. LSU is Vanderbilt is 5-1 and 1-1 in conference, and LSU is 5-1 and 2-1 in conference. Raymond. I'm sorry, I was going to say, I'm going to go against. I got LSU purely off of, I like when they go to, when they have an away game and the fans show up. That's truly the only reason I picked it. I just love how their fans always make noise and their glitter and bedazzled purple. But Raymond, what about you?
I went Vandy because a year ago that day they upset Alabama at home, and they're at home and they have LSU. So I'm predicting another top 10 upset a year to the date. So give me Vandy.
Okay. Same. I went for Vandy. I love a good upset, and I think Vanderbilt's ready for an upset. I'm just like he said, they're at home. I think they're at home. They got the ability to upset LSU, and I think it's just the perfect storm. I think there's going to be an upset there.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. And then so Next, we have Old Miss, number 5, who is 6-0 and undefeated in conference, 3-0. And then at Georgia, who is ranked number 9 with 5-1 and 3-1 in conference. Give me Georgia. Give me Georgia just because that team has been looking a little bit strong. And Old Miss, they're looking pretty good, but they got some gaps in the holes. And at home, Georgia has a really good home presence, and they're known for capitalizing their home field advantage. So give me Georgia, but I think we all kind of got the same around. But what about you, Ray?
Yeah, I went Georgia. I don't believe in Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is very fraudulent. They barely scraped out a win against Washington State, who got beaten down by UNT, who also got beaten down by University of South Florida. So that chain. So yeah, give me Bama. I just don't think Ole Miss is very good. I mean, Georgia.
You're good.
I also picked Georgia. I just can't in any right mind pick against Georgia when they're at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Georgia. They're at home. They're going to win. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I'm actually really afraid when the Texas Longhorns goes to face them. That's not going to be pretty fun. So next we have number 11 Tennessee, who is 5-1 and 2-1 in conference, at number 6 Alabama. This is the one, right? Who is 5-1 and then 3-0. Give me Tennessee. Give me the Vols. Don't know why. I feel something in there. And Bama's new head coach has been he's doing good, but it's a little bit of a roller coaster. And I feel like if Tennessee can come out and capitalize really strong in the beginning, we know that Alabama's used to having their really not quick finishes, but very crazy finishes at the end. But I feel like if Tennessee can show out in the beginning and make a prominent stance, I feel like they could really set the tone, even if it is in Alabama. What about you, Emma? What you got?
So I did pick Alabama. I do think this is going to be a close game, and I think Tennessee has the ability to make it an upset. But again, it's at home. It's Alabama at home against a ranked opponent. I just think Alabama's going to come out. They're going to show out, and I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be close. I'm feeling like a last-second field goal. But I think Alabama's going to win.
Okay. You, Ray?
I'm going to go Bama. I believe it's been about 20 years since Tennessee has won in Alabama. And before that, they had a streak going that they didn't beat Alabama at all. But I believe that Alabama's going to keep that streak going against Tennessee at home. I'm all in on the Ty Simpson Heisman campaign. I believe he's the leading candidate right now, and I feel like he's going to show out and show up against in Tuscaloosa at home. So, yeah, give me Bama.
Okay. And then next we have number 20 USC, who is 5-1, again at number 13 Notre Dame, who is 4-2. Oh, this is actually kind of interesting seeing what y'all pick. But I'm going to start off with Emma. What you got, girl?
Okay, so I picked USC. There's two levels to this. One, I think USC's had the strength. I looked at strength of schedule. I just think USC could pull off an upset. I know it's Notre Dame at home, but I just have a feeling that if there's going to be a big upset this weekend, it's going to be in this game. I also just hate Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I just have a strong hatred for Notre Dame, and I just couldn't, in my right mind, just pick Notre Dame.
Be a man. Join the conference.
What about you, Ray?
Fight on, brother!
Oh my God.
Give me USC, baby. We don't like Notre Dame over here. Join the conference. Join the Big Ten already. Stop playing around.
Anyway, in true little sister fashion, I gotta go against my big brother. So we're gonna go with Notre Dame.
That usually doesn't end well for her, by the way.
Okay, my record's not as bad. It's better than Notre Dame's, but I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. Okay, so we're gonna do Notre Dame just because. I mean, yes, they don't really have a really big strength of schedule, but I mean, I really do feel like if they could, I kind of just want them to pull off this win just so they can kind of, not shut people up, but kind of okay, you're making waves now. If they're going to be ranked, I need some sustenance behind that ranking, in my opinion. So next up, we have number 23 Utah, who is 5-1 and 2-1 in conference, against number 15 BYU, who is undefeated.
The Holy War.
Okay, Ray, you're already saying stuff, so go ahead and take it away.
BYU. Why? Don't know. This is just a gut feeling. BYU, the Holy War. I think they're just a better overall team. I think BYU is going to be in the mix in the Big 12 championship and potentially a playoff team. So give me BYU.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Utah. I don't want any more undefeated teams this far into the college football season. So I'm going with Utah purely for the fact that I just don't want BYU to be undefeated anymore. What about you, Emma?
I also picked Utah. Two things. Don't like BYU either. I do not like
Rob
them.
has some vendettas
I
today.
do. They just give me the ick. I do not like BYU. And also, I looked at strength of schedule. BYU has had an easy schedule. But it was not hard for them to get that 6-0. They did not have to fight too bad for that. So I think Utah's had a harder schedule than BYU. And I think Utah's going to come out and they're going to beat BYU.
No, yeah, you know what? I like I said, I don't like undefeated teams. But now we're switching off to pro football with the NFL. So we have the Colts who are 5-1. Not Colts, sorry, not a Colt. But if you go for it. But anyway, we have Colts who are 5-1 at the Chargers who are 4-2. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the Chargers just because some of their players have been putting up some really good points on my fantasy. That's it. Raymond, what about you?
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to be my AFC. I picked the Chargers to be my AFC representative, and I'm going to stick with them. So I feel like they're going to win that division. These are the type of games they need to win in order for that statement to be true. So I'm going to go with the Chargers.
So I'm going to be the odd one out here. I want the Colts. Again, strength of schedule. Neither teams have had a very, hard schedule, to be honest, if you look at it. I love the Colts. I love their new management. And I just like I overall think the Colts are playing, I think they're playing really well right now. I think they're going to come out and they're going to be the Chargers.
Okay. And moving on to our next game, we have the Rams who are 4-2 going against the Jaguars who are also 4-2. 8:30 a.m. in London. See, I wouldn't be surprised if NFL starts putting a team over there in Europe. But, Raymond, I'll let you start off. Sorry.
I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why? Because this is going to be practically a home game for them. Why? Because their owners, Tony Khan and the Khan family, they own Fulham FC in London. And they've been promoting the Jaguars in London all the time. If anything, they've been thinking about relocating. There were talks about relocating the Jacksonville Jaguars to London for that reason. So I feel like this is going to be a home game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think the Rams are starting to show themselves to be a little bit fraudulent. And I'm buying to the Jaguars this year. I like Trevor Lawrence has had a nice bounce back year so far. So give me the Jaguars.
I'm going to have to go with the Jaguars as well, just because, like you said, Trevor Lawrence has been doing good. And also, I did read an article about a player saying something about playing in London just kind of brings out a different vibe and a different, side to all the players. And, yeah, it's kind of like their second home at that point. So, a little home field advantage, some slight. So we're going to go with the Jaguars. But what about you, Emma?
Okay, so I'm also the odd one out on this. I'm going to take the Rams. I don't really know. There wasn't a lot of thought that went behind this pick. Just going to take the Rams. I also have I know I've said this a couple of times, a little vendetta against Trevor Lawrence because I really, really liked him when he first came to the NFL, and then I was just really disappointed by him. So he makes me sad. So I do not love Trevor Lawrence right now, so I'm going to pick the Rams. I just thought this is a good game because I know the last London game was a little boring.
I know, understandable. Okay, now we're switching over to the MLB postseason. So with the ALCS, we have the Blue Jays at the Mariners. The series is tied right now, 2-2. Emma, start us off.
Okay, so this was vibes because I know nothing about baseball. But I do know hockey, and I know I hate the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I love Seattle. So I picked the Mariners because I hate Toronto.
All right. I'm going to have to go with... Actually, no, go Ray.
I'm going to go with the Mariners simply because I feel like they have the better chance of beating the Dodgers in the World Series. So with their pitching rotation, and this has been a miserable hate watch for me because the Dodgers just swept every team that they played, and I'm like... So, yeah, I'm just holding out hope that the Mariners will save me. So, give me the Mariners.
Understandable. And honestly, I kind of do like that point with them. Because I picked the Blue Jays, but real quick, tangent. I do like that point that you said about Mariners actually do have a really good chance of beating the Dodgers because they're kind of a moving train at this point. But I went with the Blue Jays purely for the fact that I was going through the MLB highlights to pick a highlight, and I really like their performance. They're really good at, closing the games, and, the Mariners are it should be a good matchup, but I'm going to just go with the Blue Jays just for solely the fact that I really like that diving catch. But, okay, moving on to the North, we have the Brewers at Raymond's favorite team, the Dodgers. So, give me the Dodgers because I love Mookie Betts. And I kind of just want to see, low-key, I kind of just want to see them in the finals so they can kind of get beat. I just think it'd be cool. I mean, if they were to get out right now, that would be great. But
Phenomenal.
yes, we know, right? But so just give me the Dodgers purely for the love of Mookie Betts. But what about you, Ray?
Obviously, I'm going to go with the Brewers. The Brewers are going to come back. They're going to win 4 games in a row and eliminate the Dodgers. That's because I need that to happen for my sanity. And it's just, for those of you who don't, for context, the Dodgers have 8 World Series. The Giants have 8 World Series. We're both bitter rivals. If the Dodgers win a World Series, they'll have 9, and they'll have more than us, and they'll officially have bragging rights. And we cannot let that happen. We cannot let that happen. We had a 4 World Series lead, and we are about to blow it. Buster Posey, save us. But yeah, give me the Brewers.
Okay. Yeah, I want the Brewers. I don't know baseball. I feel statistically they got to win at least one, right? So, I want the Brewers.
Brewers, okay. And then last but not least, we got Texas at Kentucky. Texas is back ranked number 21 on the AP polls. Give me Texas, hook 'em horns, keep the momentum going, trying to go to postseason. Let's do it. But, Emma.
Texas, we just beat Oklahoma. We're going to win.
Texas, just because.
Texas, straight through. I think that's like the first one. No, that's the second one we all agreed on. But hook 'em horns, guys. And next time, I promise me and Emma will brush up on our MLB talk. 'Cause we got you on there. Well, thank you so much, Emma, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. We loved chatting up with you. And that'll do it for this week's episode of 1-0. And don't forget to join us on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. for a new episode of College Press Box. Wednesdays live at 9 p.m. for a new episode of College Crossfire. And next Friday at 11 a.m. for another episode of 1-0. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Georgie Ruiz.
I'm your co-host, Raymond Gorvey.
And we'll see you back here on 1-0.